Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got another review on the What If Adam Armstrong. I'm going to go into the card's detail stats, clips and summary, as well as the SBC requirements. Before we get into all of that, if I could ask guys to please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you know when I upload, and comment down below if you're going to be doing this card or what your thoughts are on it. Without further ado, let's get into the review. So guys, this is the team that I use, Adam Armstrong, and I played him in the 4-2-3-1 at the spearhead of that attack, and I tried him in a two-striker formation with that Wayne Rooney as well. And overall first impressions of this card, guys, this card is pretty decent. I do think that it does need to be improved in a couple of areas, and with the boost coming in and then the right chemistry style, I think it can be very good. But you played reasonably well for me, guys, so I was quite impressed with all of that. Let's just get straight into it though. Adam Armstrong, 5'6", high-low work rate, right footed, force moves, and 3-star weak foot. The only thing for me, guys, that I don't like about this card is that weak foot. I wish it was one better, and that would really be a perfectly well-rounded card for me. But overall, guys, it's still a very nice card, considering what his stats are as well. We'll get into those shortly. 4 games played, 10 goals scored, and 1 assist. So not a bad return either, guys, especially considering that's Division 2. He did very well for me, and that pace was a big helping factor. In terms of chemistry styles, I tried an engine on him, I tried a maestro on him, or a marksman, sorry, with him, with a sub as well. We played games together, so that's something that you guys will get to see too. And then I also tried this Hawk chemistry style on him, and I really liked the Hawk, actually. I think that played really well towards his strengths and what he was able to do, and boosted him generally in terms of being a good striker. Getting into the key stats, guys, the key pros of this card, the agility and the balance are phenomenal, both at 96, 97 acceleration, 92 sprint speed, and then in general, guys, he's a pretty good finisher, pretty decent level of composure, but you see as well, high level of aggression, high level of jumping, stamina, and a decent amount of strength for the size that he is as well. He is incredibly strong given how good his balance and strength is. He feels a lot stronger than his frame would allow him to be, so that was really nice, guys, and you guys can see how that chemistry style really played into his hands as well. In terms of the player traits, he's got the finesse shot trait, the long shot taker, and the speed dribbler, so all nice traits to have in a striker. And of course, he does have that strong link to Rooney, which is also a bonus. We'll get more into that into the summary. But now that we've covered all of that, we're going to get into what the SBC requirements are for you guys to get your hands on. So guys, getting into the Adam Armstrong SBC requirements, 121k on the PlayStation, 121 on the Xbox, and 131 on the PC. Now guys, 2 squads required for this. I actually think this SBC is relatively cheap considering what you are getting and if you're able to build him into a decent team. The first one is an 83 rated squad with an informed player, and the second one is an 84 rated squad, no informed players required there. So guys, I do think this is pretty decent in terms of requirements for the SBC. Of course, he is only an 85 rated striker, but going up to that 87 as well with the right chemistry style on him, he will really be a good player, guys, and in terms of what he's able to do, he'll be fantastic as well. So I think this SBC is really well priced. Of course, the linkability factor, his league being a big issue there. His nation is good, but you know, it will struggle to link into strong links into other English players, especially if you're looking at the Premier League, and of course that weak foot does affect him a little bit. But overall, guys, I do think this SBC is worth it. We'll get more into that in the summary though. Without further ado, let's just get into the clips with him. So guys, getting into some of Adam Armstrong's clips, and what you guys are going to see here is his general attacking prowess, his ability to create chances with that speed and agility, and his finishing as well. Now guys, one thing I do want to say off the bat about this card, and it's the first pro we're going to discuss, is that his pace is lightning quick. Now of course, with cards getting quicker in FIFA, you maybe don't feel this as much with a card like this, but it's nice to have that pace element because then you don't have to focus on boosting it as much. The second factor I want to get into, guys, and again, another pro of this card, is that he is incredibly physical for his size. He's very capable of holding defenders off. You guys can see here, able to turn very quickly, hold defenders off, make sure they don't dispossess him too easily, that good amount of strength and aggression there as well. And that's really nice to have in a striker like this, because I believe that this may help him in the fact that he's 5'6", so his center of gravity and the way he plays against other defenders in terms of playing lower against them allows him to maintain possession a lot easier than other strikers maybe would. Now guys, getting into the next part of the card, which is his shooting. In general, I think his shooting's pretty good. Now there is a con I want to talk about here, guys, is that his 3-star weak foot does hold him back a little bit. You guys will see a couple of goals that I did get with his weak foot, but overall I would say that his shooting is just okay at the current time. I would say that it does need a bit of a focus with the chemistry style even after the boost, because it won't go up by too much, making him that good a striker. You will need to focus on that, but what you can afford to avoid therefore is his pace, and you can build some nice chemistry styles around having to avoid that. The next thing I want to get into, guys, is his dribbling. Fantastic dribbler of the ball, guys. Really quick and maneuverable on the ball. Very fast in terms of turning, getting past players, and the reactions of other players to try and get near him is slow, so it does help that card tremendously. The only thing I would say that holds him back in the dribbling department is his ball control is a little low, so sometimes that first touch or that second touch in tight spaces is a little loose, but in general, guys, he held the ball very well and was able to turn on a dime as well, which was fantastic, able to create a lot of easy chances from that as well. Finally, guys, the final bit that I want to get into, and really it's more to do with his passing about anything else, and that is his passing is pretty reasonable. He was able to create chances. You guys have seen the link-up play that he has had with a number of the strikers that I was playing with, Rooney, sorry, that I was playing him with. He passed the ball very well, was able to make the right runs, able to create easy chances for his teammates and for himself, and you guys are seeing now from the finishes how he was able to stick some of these away. That finesse shot trait coming into effect there as well. And overall, guys, I do think this card is just a fantastic value card. It's obviously not the ideal card for linking into other leagues or other players, unless you did, of course, do that Wayne Rooney card. But guys, again, it's so cheap for what you're getting and what he could potentially become, that this card really is a phenomenal card to have. And over again, guys, you'll see me using that agility to keep things simple, to get easy finishes with him, and to stick chances away that, most strikers would stick away, but the fact that he's getting into these positions as well is such a pro for me as well, because he does make those runs naturally. If the right instructions on him as well, he'll do that even better. So I just think this card had a load of pluses for me in terms of what he's capable of. And in this final clip, guys, you're going to see more of the same, dribbling at the opponent, running straight at them, using that speed, getting into position and smashing it into the back of the net with that left foot. So guys, we're going to get into this final Adam Armstrong summary. 121k on the PlayStation, 121 on the Xbox, and 130 on the PC. So relatively expensive or cheap, depending on how you guys look at this and where you want to link him into your team. I actually think this is a very good value SBC, but for a lot of you guys, I understand that this also may be an expensive card. In terms of key stats, of course, that pace and acceleration and sprint speed both are fantastic. The agility and balance on the dribbling is good. The ball control does need a little bit of help, but I think that with a boost, that will become more usable if Blackburn manage to get those goals. In terms of the right chemistry style to use for him, guys, I would suggest something that would boost his finishing and his passing or his dribbling. One of those two are a combination. I actually like the marksman chemistry style on him. I really think it does a lot of favors to him in terms of his overall ability to be able to finish the chances and stick them away, as well as any other stuff that you need help with in terms of the physicality. Bringing that strength up and jumping up as well is always nice as well. However, there's a number of ways you can go with this card. The finisher may also be a good way just to focus solely on shooting and dribbling, but I don't think it does as many favors for him, given that it only really affects the dribbling stat in that part. So I would say the marksman for me is the one to go with. In terms of the similar types of players, guys, very small, very quick player. I actually think he's very similar to Lorenzo Insigne in the way that he plays. I think this card is a lot more of a consistent finisher than Insigne, though. None of the cards here are really similar to this card in terms of how he plays. Finally, guys, in terms of the linkability, before we get into his price, he's of course got the link to that Objectives player DAC. You can go and pick that up for free, of course, in the Objectives. He's of course got strong links to all these English icons and players like Wayne Rooney. There's also the newly released Objectives cards, Henry there, Sinclair, of course, part of the old Objectives as well. So you've got some nice links. I will be doing a review on this Henry card, so do stay tuned for that as well. But the linkability on this card isn't great, guys, but it's okay. You do have some links that you can build him into, so there's always that to kind of defer towards. Finally, guys, if we're going to get into the price comparison, he is sitting right above the second informed Karim Benzema, Jonathan David, Wilfried Zaha, and again the other Benzema as well as Vieri. So we're going to look at that. I think in comparison to those strikers, he does very well. Benzema for me is of course a more technically gifted and well-rounded striker, but doesn't have that pace factor that this Adam Armstrong has, and that plays far better into the meta than the Benzema does. If we look at the other strikers that he's around, we've got Erling Haaland, Romelu Lukaku's shapeshifter, Filippo Inzaghi, again Vieri, and Houssem Aouar, who I happen to believe is one of the better cards in the game as well. If I was to say he played at a certain level, definitely upwards of all of these icons here. Playing more towards this Aspas level, yes, Memphis Depay, that's getting more like it again. So I actually think this SBC is very fairly priced in terms of how it's been done and where he's currently valued. Which brings me on to my final recommendation, guys, is that if you can find a way to fit this guy into your team, then I would recommend doing this SBC. However, I wouldn't recommend it if you're just doing it for the sake of doing it. I think that this SBC obviously is expensive for what you're getting out of it. I just think it's incredibly good value if you can link him into Wayne Rooney and Rico Henry. But overall, guys, I wouldn't be recommending everyone go and do this only if you want to link him in that way or have space for him as a super sub in your team or something like that, then I would recommend doing this card. Hope you guys did enjoy this review. If you did, please do smash that like button. Until next time, I will see you all in a bit.